Start. Hi guys, welcome back to Drive London. I'm Rohit, this is Naveen, and we're about to do a mock test for him. This is going to be his second mock test. We did a mock test when he initially came to us after finding us on YouTube, and on that mock test he had six serious mistakes, which wasn't great, but there wasn't, I mean, his drive was good, but it was just, there were faults. But now we've done a couple of lessons. I think we've done 3 lessons, and this is his 4th lesson, and he has his test tomorrow, so we're going to see how he does today, and hopefully there should be a big improvement. Yeah. And hopefully no serious or dangerous mistakes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, okay, so just a reminder, the test is going to last for 40 minutes. During those 40 minutes we're going to keep following the road ahead unless I ask you to turn left or right. There's usually 20 minutes of independent driving, but today we're going to follow the sat-nav the whole route, okay, so 40 minutes of it. There'll be one maneuver, and there'll be one possibly the emergency stop, and there'll be one show me and one tell me question. Okay? Now for you guys, when each time he makes any mistakes, any serious or dangerous mistakes, it'll be up in red, just up here. And if he makes any minor mistakes, it'll be in amber, and anything that he does well, then it'll be in green at the top here. Okay? Good. Shall we get started? Okay, so before we, if you get yourself ready first, and if you could tell me how you'd check to see if your tires are roadworthy.
I should check with the pressure gauge.
Okay, not the tire pressure. I want to know if the tires are roadworthy.
Oh, the 3/4 of the center of the width of the tire should be 1.6 millimeter across round.
Okay. Is that it? Yeah, okay. Alright, thank you. And we're going to go down to the end of the road and we're going to turn left. Okay, and then follow the sat-nav there on. Okay? You may start whenever you're ready. Naveen deals with the meeting situation really well by going into space on the left, but before doing so, doesn't check his mirrors. But does check his mirrors when pulling back out.
Right here.
No, so we're turning left. And then follow the sat-nav after that. Naveen approaches this junction really well and positions perfectly, and shows good observations before emerging.
Cross the roundabout, first exit.
Naveen approaches the roundabout at a good speed, allowing him plenty of time to observe. Naveen checks his mirrors really well on this road. With it being a slow road, cyclists and motorbikes can easily keep up. Up ahead, another road user decides to pull out in front of us, and Naveen deals with him perfectly by checking his mirrors and easing off the gas.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout, first exit.
Can I get you to pull over and park on the left in a safe place for him, please? When asked to park in a safe place, you should avoid driveways and yellow lights. And Naveen misses a safe place and ends up stopping on the yellow light. Okay, thank you, and drive on again when it's safe to do so. As Naveen moves off and tries to select second gear, he accidentally goes into fourth gear. However, realizes the fault and fixes it fairly quickly, but he would get a minor for gears.
Go left on the roundabout, first exit.
Naveen deals with this tight space really well by keeping the car really slow and checking all around constantly. Up ahead, Naveen responds really well with the man opening the van door by giving him plenty of space whilst going round. Once again, I'd like you to pull over and park in a safe place for me, please. And try to leave yourself enough room to move away. That's great, thank you. And drive on whenever you're ready. Up ahead, when the road bends to the right, Naveen keeps a really good position to the left, allowing him to see further up the road and allowing enough space for the oncoming cars to pass through on the right.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout, first exit. Go left on the roundabout, first exit.
Naveen again approaches really well in this roundabout and shows really good observations. Naveen continues to check his mirrors really well whilst weaving in between cars.
yards, go right on the roundabout, 4th exit. Go right on the roundabout, 4th exit.
Naveen approaches the roundabout with a good speed, allowing him time to observe and keep within his lane. And when he sees a car coming from the right, he comes to a nice smooth stop. And inside the roundabout, he continues to stay within his lane. However, then he signals a little too early for his exit, and people may assume he's taken the 3rd exit.
After 300 yards, go right on the roundabout, 3rd exit. Go right on the roundabout, 3rd exit.
Naveen deals with this roundabout really well, entering into the correct lane, keeping his position inside the roundabout, and then checking his mirrors and moving back to the left safely when taking his exit.
Okay, Naveen, when it's safe to do so, I'd like you to wash and clean the rear windscreen for me, please. The rear windscreen, okay?
When asked to do the show me question, you must remember to keep good control of the car and not to affect other road users. As Naveen was washing and cleaning the rear windscreen, he starts to slow down quite a bit and starts to affect the traffic behind, which results in other people overtaking him.
Thank you.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout, 2nd exit. Then take the exit.
Naveen slows down really well here, using good gearing down technique. Up ahead with the roundabout, the left lane will split into two. The left lane will be a left only, and to go straight ahead
Cross
you'll
the
need to stay in the
roundabout,
middle lane.
2nd
Naveen
exit.
picks this up
Then
and checks
take
his right
the
mirrors to
exit.
keep within the lane. Naveen continues to stay in the correct lane inside the roundabout, and checks his mirrors and signals off at the correct time.
After 800 yards, take the exit. Then go left on the roundabout.
When the van from the right-hand lane moves into our lane, the following distance becomes a little small, and Naveen doesn't increase the space. It's hard to tell on camera, but it was a little close.
Take the exit. Then go left on the roundabout. Go left on the roundabout, first exit, then turn right. Go left on the roundabout, first exit, then turn right.
As we approach this roundabout, there's a pedestrian crossing just before, and the bus is blocking the view of the crossing on the right. Naveen deals with this situation really well by keeping a slightly bigger gap with the bus, allowing him time to scan the crossing before proceeding, and he picks up that there's actually a pedestrian waiting there. With the roundabout, Naveen approaches in the correct lane, keeping his position correct, and observes really well before taking the exit.
And just follow my directions, ignore the sat nav. Now we're going to take the next road on your left here.
This one, yeah?
Yes, into the
After
home-based car park.
100 yards, turn right, then turn around when possible.
And we're just going to follow over to the left. Okay, and then we're just going to keep going further up and then turn right. Just follow the road to the right. And take the next lane on your right, just coming up here. That's great. And now I'd like you to pick a bay and forward park into it for me, please.
Naveen does his maneuver really well. Before even starting the maneuver, he checks his mirrors and signals to tell people what he's doing. He waits for the oncoming van and continues to observe whilst going into the bay, and even picks up that there's a woman about to cross his bay.
So you done?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And now I'd like us to reverse out of this bay to your right and just drive up to your left for me, please, okay? So I want us to drive in that direction there, okay?
Now it's important to remember the maneuver is not finished until you've reversed outside of the bay. And Naveen does really well by still keeping good control of the car and all-round observations whilst reversing backwards.
And what we're going to do is we're going to follow my directions actually instead, okay? So we're going to ignore the sat nav. Okay, so you're going to follow my directions from now on, okay? I'm just going to follow around to the right. And we're just going to turn right.
Right.
This, yes please, just here. And then we'll head towards the exit. And then at the end of this road at the exit, we're going to turn right. at the roundabout, we're going to turn right, 4th exit.
Again, Naveen approaches really well here, keeping within the correct lane and getting right up to the giveaway line. He also shows good observations at the junction and makes good use of his speed when entering the roundabout. Inside the roundabout, Naveen keeps within the correct lane and checks his mirrors and signals at the correct time to take his exit. As he comes off, he's straight onto a slip road where he makes good use of his speed to help him merge further up.
At the next roundabout, we're going to turn left, 1st exit. And at the traffic lights, we're going to turn right.
Before switching lanes, Naveen checks his mirrors and sees a car in the right hand lane. He tries to adjust his speed, but the car lets him in, and he responds really well. Now at this junction we have a set of filter lights. Some people may find these a bit confusing. If the green arrow is pointing in the direction you're looking to go, then you can proceed. Naveen deals with the traffic lights perfectly and realizes he has to wait a little longer. As Naveen turns into the new road, he responds really well to the cycle lane, which has a solid white line, meaning that you're not allowed in this area, and especially if there's no times, you're not allowed to go in at any time. Naveen continues to check his mirrors really well, looking out for cyclists and motorbikes, especially on the slower roads where they can easily keep up with us. keeps a good slow speed on this road, allowing him to respond to pedestrians which cross the road in between cars.
At the next roundabout, we're going to go straight ahead, second exit.
Naveen approaches the next roundabout really well, keeping a good speed, allowing him plenty of time to observe. With the parked cars on this road, Naveen positions really well, keeping a meter's distance, which does put us closer to the centre line or sometimes over, which is okay as long as it's safe to do so. Now with the oncoming car, there's a limited amount of space, meaning we have to move closer to the parked cars on the left. However, whilst doing this, you should slow down the car. Naveen does keep a little bit too fast, but slow enough to get through safely.
Third exit this roundabout.
Naveen approaches and deals with this roundabout really well, but when he comes off, he checks his left mirrors, but he should be checking his right, especially with the parked cars on his left. Now I will be asking Naveen to pull over and park again, in a safe place. And again, Naveen parks in front of a driveway and on top of a yellow line, and gets a minor for normal stops.
And I'd like us to pull over and park in a safe place again for me, please. Thank you, and drive on again for me, please.
Naveen deals with the vehicle on the right safely and correctly, as we had priority over the vehicle. The beeping that you just heard is a safety measure in this car which tells you if you're about to crash into something. Now sometimes the sensors pick up on these islands or the pavement as you drive around, but this is just a warning. Now there's a pedestrian crossing the road up ahead. This is not a zebra crossing, but allows people to cross the road safely from one side to another when it's safe to do so. Now Naveen keeps an eye on the pedestrian and keeps a slow pace just in case the pedestrian continues to walk into the road. On this road, Naveen shows really good positioning. With the parked cars, he keeps a meter clearance, which means he's staying further to the right, but when there's a big enough gap to move back to the left, he does too, safely. With the meeting situation up ahead, he slows down quite well, giving him a good judgment of the distance he has with the parked car and the oncoming vehicle.
Roundabout, we're going to turn right to second exit.
Naveen approaches the roundabout quite well, but inside the roundabout is a little too fast and gets a bit close to the curb, and he could have started turning a bit sooner. With there being no oncoming vehicles, Naveen could have positioned in the middle of the road and would have avoided having to slow down to go over the speed hump.
Turn left at this roundabout. Just going to follow the road, and then we're taking the next left, okay? So just after the bend. Just left here. I just get you to pull over and park just before this car on your left. Don't worry about the driveways. Get left here. And leave yourself enough room to move away. Okay, good. We're going to do the emergency stop exercise. Okay, so when I put my hand towards the windscreen and say stop, I like you to carry the emergency stop. And I may look over my shoulder or in my mirrors just beforehand, but don't take this as a signal. Wait for my hand and me saying stop, okay? And then we'll carry the emergency stop. Okay? Alright, good. We'll drive on whenever you're ready. Stop! Okay, thank you. Now, I'd like you to drive on when it's safe to do so. And I won't be asking you to do that again.
no direction is given because you can only go one way. However, it's a give-way junction and it's important to observe, which Naveen does really well.
And at the next roundabout, we're going to turn left, first exit. And we're going to take the next road in your right.
Naveen shows good adjustment of speed here, allowing the bike to pass through and then allowing himself to turn in without having to stop.
Yeah, and I'd like us to pull over and park just before this BMW on the left, just before the grey car. Don't worry about the yellow lights on this occasion. Get quite close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit closer to the car. Just a little bit. That's great, thank you. Okay, and I'd like you to turn off the engine for me, please. And secure your car. And give me a moment. So how do you think you've done?
I think I fell on the emergency system.
Okay, so why do you think you failed?
Because
Stop.
I left the brake little bit.
You hesitated, yes. You started braking and then you kind of came off a little bit. However, I didn't give you a serious mistake there, no. I gave you a minor. So you still brought the car to a quick stop. And I felt like the braking was good, but you did hesitate a little. Now, in an emergency situation, you don't hesitate. We just apply the brakes. And yes, we don't want to skid, but don't hesitate too much, okay? If you've started braking that much to begin with, just follow through with it, okay? So that wasn't a serious mistake. Any other serious mistakes or dangerous mistakes?
Don't think so.
No? So if I didn't say the emergency stop was a serious mistake, would you assume you'd pass then?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have passed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a really good test, okay? Now you got no serious, no dangerous mistakes. You got 15 minors though. Yeah. So that's literally the borderline to one. If you had one more, that would have been a fail. But I am a little bit more stricter with the minors, so you probably wouldn't have got this many in your test. Some of them are advisory, okay? But I like to mark them down just so that you can work on these so they don't lead to minors or serious mistakes later on. Okay.
The first two mistakes when we start, I know the gear I changed too quickly to the second gear.
Okay, so yes,
Two
you had a
times.
gears issue there. Okay, so let's go through the mistakes. Okay, so like I said, congratulations, you would have passed that, but let's talk about the minor mistakes now. Okay, so first of all, when I asked you about the car, the vehicle checks, I asked you about the tires. How would you know if they're roadworthy? So you told me there should be a minimum of 1.6 millimeters of thread depth on the 3/4 of the central for the tire. But what else? Is there nothing else you check?
It shouldn't be cut.
No cuts, no bulges. Okay. But yeah, that's a minor there. Okay. And then then we turned left onto that road and we came up to the first roundabout. Well, I got you to pull over and park first of all, yeah. So when I got you to pull over and park, there was a safe place. There was a bay.
Yeah.
As you went into the bay, for some reason you just went past it and you went onto the yellow line and there's some driveways. Yeah, I felt like there's enough space and time to go into that bay and stop inside the bay. So at that point, I had asked you to park in a safe place. So look for the boxes, try to park in that box. So I gave you a minor there for normal stops and normal position and normal stops. Okay. And then yes, when I told you to move off, you moved off, and then you tried to change into second gear too early. And you said you know this one, yes. Yeah. And yes, the car was juddering, and you're changing too early. The car wants to stay in a lower gear at that point. So I gave you a minor for your gears. Okay, and then we came up to the roundabout. Now when we came up to the roundabout, I already told you we're turning left, and you applied your signal when you stopped at the roundabout.
Yeah.
Is that a good time to put your signal on? It's a bit late, right? Okay, so imagine we're coming up to a roundabout and there's a car approaching us and he sees you have no signal. Where's he going to think you're going?
Straight.
Correct. Okay, and instead we were turning left. Now that could affect other people's flow, yeah? Because if there was another car on the left, for example, and they see no signal with us, they will stop for you. But then they will get annoyed that the fact that you're turning left. Correct. Okay, so just make sure your signal timing is better. So that was one of those. Okay, and then we drove on again. I asked you to pull over and park in a safe place. That was good. I was happy with that. Yep, let me go through these actually. I'm trying to go for the journey, but I'm forgetting where I am. Okay, so yep, gears, steering. Now, when we were driving on the dual carriageway, when we came off on the slip road,
Yeah.
we got too close to the curb at one point. I don't know if you realised or not. Did you?
I did.
No?
I
You didn't realise?
on the left?
Yes. So we came off on the slip road, we're driving down and the sat nav saying turn left at the roundabout. Okay, so you're staying in the left lane, you're getting extremely close to the curb and you're still at high speed there. You're still doing 20 to 30 miles per hour. If you hit the curb, you're going to create a cut or a bulge in your tyre and this could damage your tyre, yeah? So just watch your positioning there, okay? And then another occasion again, you're driving down. I think there was something coming towards you. I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but again, we were getting too close to the left.
curb.
Yeah, so you need to watch your positioning with the curb. When it's tight or when you're turning, just keep an eye on how far you are from the curb. Okay, good. Now use the mirrors before change your directions. Actually, this is the first minor you got. So we came out, we were parked there, and we moved off, and there was a straightaway meeting situation.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you moved to the left without checking your mirrors.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I know you've just started the test and you're going to be nervous at this point, but you've got to keep on top of those mirrors. Yeah, cyclists aren't going to know that you're nervous at this point, okay? So you need to make sure there's no cyclists before you move over. Signals necessary. Before I got you to do the emergency stop, I got you to pull over and park on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't.
I did put the
signal on.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you checked your mirrors as well, but I gave you the benefit of the doubt because I failed to check. But you didn't use the signal 100%. Okay, so you need a signal there just so that people know you're pulling over and parking. Okay, signals timed. So I spoke about one, which was the mini roundabout. You put it on, and there was another one where we were on a roundabout turning right, fourth exit.
Yeah.
To come off, you do the left signal, which you did, but you did it a little bit too early.
Early.
Yeah, too early this time. You're doing it just before third exit. So people are going to assume you're taking the third exit. And anyone waiting at third exit.
That is roundabout.
Correct, that's the one. Okay, so that's the one that you did your left signal too early. What you want to do is remember I said this to you. Check your mirrors first, worry about moving over. That works as a signal. As soon as you start moving away from the roundabout, people know you're coming off at some point, so you don't need to worry about your signal too much until after the exit before yours. Okay, so just watch your signal timing there. Following distance. Yeah, did you realize this as well?
What was?
Yeah,
one car I went too close.
Yeah, so we're on the dual carriageway now, and we're going straight ahead, and there's traffic in front of you. Now you're too close to the first car, and another car's coming in front of you now from the right-hand lane, and again the gap's still quite small there. Increase the gap straight away.
The black car, yeah.
Yes, that's it. So just come off the gas, increase the gap, because you have to remember, if someone comes in and the gap's quite small, if they slam on their brakes, you need that time to be able to, yeah, you're going to be doing the same thing, but you need that time to be able to react and be able to stop safely without slamming on your brakes as well. Okay, appropriate speed, going a little bit slow. Yeah, on the speed humps.
On the speed humps,
yeah, so you know the ones that are broken, the ones that don't run from one side to the other side, they got the little brakes. Try getting both of your tires on either side and go at, you can do those at 20 miles per hour. I feel like you kept slowing down.
I feel like the front of the car gonna hit.
If you line yourself up quite well, and these humps aren't too big at the moment, so you actually be fine, okay? But you've been doing them at 15 or 14 miles per hour, get right up to 20 if it's safe. Because if the traffic behind sees that you're going quite slow, they're just going to want to overtake. Yeah, okay? So just a little bit quicker where possible. Normal driving, this is for speed humps. When we're going over these speed humps, sometimes there's no cars coming towards you and you're going over, and you have to go slow for that because you're going over the hump. But if there's no oncoming cars and there's a middle hump and you can't use the left one, why not move your position over to the middle, as long as you check your mirrors and make sure it's safe, and go over the middle hump with both your tires on either side. Yeah, it just keeps the progress and the flow better.
If it's not car.
Yeah, if it's safe, we can go into the middle one. Okay, I felt like you just kept going over funny, and the car was jumping around, and sometimes you tried to line yourself up, but the car kept jumping over. So just work on your positioning there. Okay, this is something that you will need to get used to. Over practice and experience, you'll get better and better. But this is me just being a bit more saying you, because the way you're going over, it means we have to go slower because you're making the car jump around. Okay. Normal stops. So I explained when I asked you to pull over and park. So one was you parked on the yellow line, and the box behind us, and same situation again on another one. I asked you to pull over and park in a safe place. There's a safe place, and again you've gone too far forward, a little bit into the driveway. Okay, just make sure if I ask you to park in a safe place, it should be a safe, convenient and legal place.
In the box.
Yeah, if there's a box, in a box. If there's if there is no box, then it's just going to be a raised curb, not too close to a junction, not on the brow of a hill, not on bends, and not in front of people's driveways. Okay, but I feel like our front of our car was half in the driveway. Okay, so I always say to people, imagine when the examiner says pull over and park in a safe place, you need to park somewhere where you can leave your car without having to affect anyone. So if there's a driveway, if you're blocking the driveway,
they can't come out.
Yes. Okay, and that's all the mistakes. Do you understand all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, but like I said, it was a good drive. Some of these mistakes you may not get in your test, but some of them are advisory. But it's definitely, I'd take these on board and just say, you know what, let's fix these as well, and that way you walk away with less minors. Okay, it was a good test. It was a good drive. Now the route that we were going to do was going to take us back to the same bus lane bit, and we've done that before, and you've shown me that you can do it quite well. So I wanted to mix it up a bit, and I knew your slip roads weren't great, so I took us back on a slip road. Now you did hesitate a little bit, when you saw the van, but then you remembered what I said. Now it's either you slow down or pick up speed, and then eventually you picked up speed and got in front of it, and that was the correct thing. Okay, so well done on that, because I knew you were struggling on that before. Okay, they're good. The roundabouts are good as well. I threw loads of roundabouts at you and did really well compared to our last test.
Last walk test was terrible.
Yes. Happy with the result? For now,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
50 was.
Yeah, 15s is a lot of minors, but like I said, I am a little bit more stricter. Hopefully in the test you're not going to get this many. And now, as you can see, you can definitely drive. You should be all set up for the test, and we should expect a pass tomorrow.
We should expect.
Yeah. All right. Good luck, Naveen.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you in the next mock test, I guess.